Now, D-Day is dawning again for Greece. In just over 24 hours, Athens faces a debt deadline to repay €300 billion to the IMF. Indeed, a cash-strapped Greece has to find some €1.6 billion this month. Watching all the negotiations is David Buik from Panmure Gordon, who joins me from our London studio. David Buik, welcome.
Greetings, Tiki.
Now,
greetings to you.
D-Day tomorrow. I think I said billion, I meant million, 300 million. But the Syriza leader has been in Brussels, Alexis Tsipras. Will Greece find this money?
To be honest with you, tomorrow, Tiki, 300 million is but a mere bagatelle. It's just a critical point, because the saga goes on, and I say to you, what about the 6.2 billion that is due to the IMF on the 12th of July? We carry on kicking the can down the road. Germany does not want to be the catalyst of telling Greece it's all over for two reasons. One, they bullied them in there when they never met the financial criteria in the first place. Secondly, what Germany wants is for the whole of Europe to gang up against Greece and say universally, you've got to get your act together. In the event of that not happening, everybody knows the cracks start to appear about the dream of Europe and the European Union. And it makes somebody like... Yeah. Sorry, Tiki, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but presumably political optics work both ways. I read somewhere recently that Tsipras is really needing the Germans to look as though they're forcing his hand as well, were he to default.
Absolutely. But I don't think in the grand scheme of things default is a big issue. I think it's just a postponement of an evil or a problem that is just gathering moss as we go on. Default means nothing. I'm sorry, I owe you £300 million tomorrow. I can't pay you. Well, OK, well, when can you pay me? And that, I think, is the issue. And the answer, really, if we're really honest about this, in the current criteria and the way they... Because Tsipras has got its hands held behind its back, and that's how it got its mandate to govern, is no more austerity. And if there's no more austerity, that means no more cuts in pension, no more cuts in basic salary, absolutely no sign of any tax being gathered, no sign of any assets being sold. It's a real problem. So he can say what he likes, Tsipras, on behalf of Syriza. And the same applies to Varoufakis. If they can't pay, they can't pay. So what the European Union has to do is got two options. One, swallow it. We've been there before. Negotiate something. If the other countries within the Union don't like it, too bad, because you've either got to do it and let everybody eventually take the haircut, give them a zero coupon bond over 25 years or whatever it is, or they have to face the music.
All right.
And the music looks to me as if it's going to be faced.
Now, a little further west, the German and French politicians, I see, want their own sort of Euro reform. A couple of them are proposing an embryo Eurozone treasury equipped with a Eurozone finance chief, a single budget, tax-raising powers, pooled debt liabilities, and their own Euro commissioner.
Well, this can't really come as any surprise. I mean, I was just wondering how long you and I have been talking about this problem. It must be, what, 4 years? And one of the problems that we issued was, or not issued, that we chatted about 4 years ago was North Europe and South Europe,
yes.
The Mediterranean countries against the rest. And everybody said, oh, no, this doesn't work. You know, we are a club. We have to stand four square behind each other. And now Germany, of course, and France are beginning to feel the pinch. And what they don't like is they are now suffering at the hands, particularly of the bond market, where we have had a complete meltdown in the last 2 days.
Tell me, David, a little bit about that bond market, because it seems to be really quite worrying on a global basis and really a liquidity problem.
Huge. The problem is this, is that when you've had zero interest rates or virtually no interest rates for 5 years, people... banks, fund managers, they can't have everything in equities. You have to have a balanced portfolio. So whether you like it or not, you have to have some bonds. And even other governments have to have treasuries. And look at treasury yields have shot up as well. In fact, ICAP, the biggest broker in the world, thought seriously about closing the market down because the prices were so wide for trading. And normally people go into treasuries not out of the love and affection and understanding for the United States. is because they get a good deal. They get massive liquidity and a tight price that they can trade in trillions. This is not there at the moment. And the problem is that people have stretched their yield from, say, 3 months to 1 year to 2 years in order to get some earnings. And they've now got stuck and there's no liquidity.
Very ironic, no liquidity in Treasuries. David Buik, thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.